Hey guys, thank you for joining once again. Got Buddy Perry. I'm Soap.
Hello.
Yeah, today's gonna be an interesting one. Just like some of the other ones that we've spoken about. And I think today, the general topic is, we both have kids who they're both female daughters, and at least our eldest, they're getting to a point where, they're getting start to have these image things or these emotional things that they're kind of curious about. And just to kind of set the stage, I read a few articles or rather stories, and it's about a 10-year-old, 10 or 11-year-old, where she had some image issues, where she had like I guess hairy legs, and she was asking her dad like, can I shave my legs? Like, I'm like, well, okay, I'm curious. And her reasoning was because she didn't want to go outside wearing shorts with hairy legs. And I'm thinking, okay, I guess I kind of get it, but that it can stem from that into a lot of other bigger issues that for me I don't have very much experience with. But I spoke to my buddy Perry, and I guess not necessarily that topic, but similar topics have popped up.
Similar, yeah. So right away when you told me about that story, I started thinking about Zoe, and first I want to preface this by saying kids are mean. They have no filter, right? They're blunt, and I don't think they mean any malice towards it, but they just say what they say. And at school, on a hot day or whatever like that, she's running around, she's in shorts, whatever, and one of the other kids, I don't know if it's a girl or boy, was like, your legs are hairy, and then so she comes home and she was like, Daddy, how come my legs are hairy? I was like, that's just how we are, we go home. She's like, how come mommy's legs aren't hairy? I was like, well, mommy shaves them.
Yeah.
Right? And then, or waxes them or whatever it is. And then she goes, well, I want to shave my legs. And I was like, immediately, the reason, and this is why, this made me think of this with that story, is that for that 10-year-old to tell her dad, I want to shave my legs, there must be a reason why.
Right.
And for Zoe, her reason was because somebody commented on it.
Yeah.
And there's another time where they didn't comment just on her legs, but a separate incident. But one of her best friends commented on her eyebrows. Unfortunately, she has my thick ass eyebrows, so
they on fleek.
And they, sometimes they tend to connect. They're separate now, but she's got a smaller face and whatever. But one of her friends said, without any ill intentions, just commented like, oh yeah, why are your eyebrows like that? And she's like, what are you talking about? And oh, they're together,
Oh,
and it's
man.
and so but the thing is, here's where these little comments have major repercussions, because of that, her and this was her best friend, or had a falling out. Zoe basically started off the school year. This just happened this past school year. Started first grade. She's excited. Is in a class with her best friend. Then a month goes in. Everything's going great, and her best friend makes that comment, and then everything completely shifted at school. She didn't want to be at school anymore. She had really clingy issues. She needed to be with the teacher all the time. And we're like, where's this stemming from? And then it wasn't until shelter in place happened and she was away from her best friend for a while, where she finally opened up to us and said, yeah, I don't talk to her anymore because she said something about my eyebrows. And I was like, look, there's nothing wrong with your eyebrows. You're beautiful, and you have to learn not to care about what other people think, because if you care about so much what other people think, you're going to be constantly criticized as you grow up, and you're just going to roll up into a ball. So I had to tell her, you're perfectly fine. You no need to care about it. But just like that, and the whole thing with the legs, is because someone had made a comment to her about it, and that's what made her, really think about herself. What's wrong with me? That's what she felt like. Yeah, she didn't say what's wrong with me directly, but she said, she implied it, saying how come I'm like this?
Wow, that's so crazy because that's starting a lot. I mean, that's so early. You know what I mean? Like how kids can actually make these kind of comments, and they may be very juvenile and innocent in nature, but man. And this is actually what I've been telling my kids too, right? Like just recently, that their words actually have a lot of meaning to it, that has a lot of consequences, and they do hurt. You know, like there'll be times where, you know, the kids are saying, you know, one thing or another, and they don't realize these things. You know, like as an example, like, oh, you never let us do this, you never let us do that. I'm like, you would know what it feels like when we don't let you do things, right? But the thing is, though, these words that they use, man, they really do not know how it affects another person, and that's such a crazy thing. You know, it's just like another kind of example, not necessarily like related to a body image type of thing, but it's just like overall confidence, and it's along the lines of like emotional stability as well, where, you know, like my girls, right? There are certain things where they do lack confidence in, right? Where they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm shy, I don't want to show whatever I'm working on because it may not be as good as the other kids or whatever like that. You know, it's like that emotional stability where they don't have that confidence to kind of go through and actually just say, you know, I don't care what other people think. I'm just going to push forward and do my thing. And I think, you know, like for me, it's kind of a fine line that I kind of have to walk through, because there are times where you have to just really encourage them, but then there are other times where you kind of have to go back and actually understand where they're coming from too. And that to me is a bit of a struggle at times, but, you know, obviously, you know, we all want to try to raise confident and very well-rounded kids. You know, but if they start letting these little things affect them, then it just starts to grow exponentially, right? Like I don't even know what it's going to be like. You know, my daughter's 7, your daughter's 7. Like in the next 3 years, or even sooner than that, like how their mental, you know, state will actually change, and that's something I'm kind of scared about, to be honest with you.
Well, for sure, man. I mean, like, actually, COVID really scared me about Zoe, because the beginning of the school year didn't start up as well as we'd like and as well as she'd like. You know, she was already turning into this like clingy hermit, right? COVID happened. She's completely isolated at home, right? No socialization, really, at all. And she, you know, she was telling us in the beginning of COVID, man, I don't have any, basically, not in these words, but I don't have any urge to go back to school. I don't have any urge to see my friends again. Like, she wanted nothing to do with it, and I was really concerned. Like, dude, you're 7 years old. Like,
you shouldn't be feeling these kind of things.
Yeah, you should be excited to go see your friends at the very least, right? Yeah. And you know, like, it made me really think, like, how this could be the pivotal point where she goes on this kind of like downward, you know, spiral, right? Possibly. But luckily for us, school just started, and she's actually showing a lot of like good signs of an engagement and interaction confidence. She's like, you know, one of the first people to raise her hand there, and like, and when they have breakout sessions now on Zoom, and in those groups the teacher isn't there, and she, you know, just these past couple of days, she was the first one to be like, oh, I'll go first. And to me and Sophia, I felt such immense relief that like, oh, she's getting back to be like, she's getting confident. Her self-esteem isn't, you know, getting low anymore, you know. And we definitely try to, you know, definitely celebrate those little wins when she has them, because we know that she needs them, you know. And like, and that's something that, like, us growing up, we probably never had, because our parents are always working, you know. It's just like, oh yeah, get good grades, you know, go to school. That
was the ultimate goal, right? That was the only thing that you should be doing, and not dealing with this other stuff, right? I mean, in all honesty, like, you know, for the simple wins, we definitely try to celebrate those as well. But I think in the back of my mind, there's always still going to be that concern, you know, because, you know, it's just like little kids, right? They don't know how to handle all emotional situations. And when they're presented with a certain situation where they just don't really know what to do, they just kind of shut down, kind of slump down in their chest and everything, and just kind of walk away. That's what that's kind of issue happening with Arden, where if things don't go her way, she doesn't know how to process it. She just kind of hunkers down and just kind of walks away, all sad and everything. Where we're like, you know, things in your life, things in the world will not always go your way. You just have to find a way to deal with it and move on from there. Because in anything in life, you're going to have to deal with these kind of things and these kind of disappointments and shortfalls. And that's something that I think they haven't had to deal with up until just recently, right? Because think about it. Oh, we want to go to, I don't know, go to the mall. I want to go to Disneyland or do this or do that. Yeah, great, let's go. Now it's like, okay, instant gratification and just that kind of, hey, I asked for it and I'll receive. It's not going to be there, right? So emotionally, that's what they're going to have to deal with as well. But I think you kind of think about it, and I think about my childhood as well. It's like, yeah, I know we touched on this in a previous video where we didn't have the instant gratification and we had to have that delayed gratification. But I think the kids are, and it actually might be a good thing now, right? Because they don't have that instant gratification. So emotionally, they have to really muster up enough strength to kind of say, okay, I can wait for this, or it doesn't have to happen right now.
They have to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
The thing is, like, our hindsight is 2020, and I don't expect a 7-year-old to instantly know if they're getting into a this uncomfortable situation where they don't know what to do, to be like, all right, I better suck it up, or
Yeah.
and figure this out. I don't expect any kid to do that. So for them to react like that is perfectly normal. Right?
Yeah, no, totally.
For us as parents, since we are more emotionally involved with them versus our parents,
Yeah.
it's our job to notice this, like you have, and be like, hey, it's okay to be sad, but you got to understand that, like you said, not everything's going to go your way. You have to figure out how to be okay with things not going your way.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we can tell them right now, and it's probably repetitive. Like, we got to.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember when I was 7. I don't think, like, if I faced some type of adversity, I don't think I was all like, okay, I'm gonna learn from this.
Yeah.
I probably made the same mistake 1,000 times, right? Because I had no one else I don't have any older siblings.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anybody else to guide me, to be like, hey man, what happened to you today? Like, why are you feeling like this? No one to check on me, right?
Yeah.
So that's our job for them right now, and we do need to be there and, like, watching them, not hovering, but we know how the mannerisms of our kids is when they're, like, in a good mood, whatever like that. But once they start, like, showing signs of, like, what's up, like, just us asking what's going on, they're not going to tell us right away because they don't know how to convey it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's for us to fiddle around and, like, kind of pry a bit, and, like, why did you why do you want to shave your legs?
Right.
What happened?
Exactly. Right. And I think you bring up a good point, right? And I think that the main takeaway from that is essentially involvement, right, and the emotional stability. And again, to kind of bring it back to our parents, like, they had to do what they had to do to survive, right? But now I think we're presented with an opportunity to actually be there for our kids more so than ever, right? And just the mere act of just asking how they are, how their day was. Oh, we noticed that you were upset about this at this time when that happened. Want to talk about it? I think that definitely opens up and actually leaves the communication lines open, right? Because I think a lot of these times when these kind of things happen and they go ignored or they're not addressed, I think that definitely leaves, and especially for kids that young, it could be a very snap judgment, like, oh, no one cares about me, or no one really wants to do anything with me, or oh, they think I'm boring, or they think I'm this or whatever, right? But I think, and that's what I've noticed a whole lot more ever since school started and everything like that, where they're starting to have these kind of feelings or emotions, or starting to develop, but they don't know what to do with it, right? So I guess, it's definitely good for us to kind of take a step back and actually just sit down and ask them. And like you said, if they're not ready to talk about it, that's fine. But just to let them know that we're there and ready and willing to have those conversations.
Yeah, like I as much as they probably only want to talk to about the fun stuff with us, and you know, we enjoy that too. When it comes, it's our job to identify this serious stuff and keep those the lines of communication alive, to let them know that, like, you're not going to get in trouble for talking about something that, you know, you feel uncomfortable about. You know, and if the more we ingrain that in them, that, like, you can just, you know, like, you don't have to talk to me about Care Bears and, you know, unicorns all the time. You know, like, you can talk to me when you're not feeling well, when you're feeling angry, sad, you know, tired, whatever it is. You know, but it does, you know, it's we're the adults, so we have to be the one to be like, hey, you all right? You know, what's going on?
For sure. I think the operative word or phrase is like creating a safe zone for them to kind of say whatever they want or whatever they feel without any judgment, but also ultimately without any repercussions. I think that's what it was, right? Because the thing is that I'll be honest with you, I never really spoke about anything emotional with my parents. Like the mere you know, like uttering the words "I love you" wasn't really a phrase on my repertoire growing up, right? And so the emotional availability of my parents were not there. And guess what? It was there amongst me and, like, my peers, right? And it's kind of good and kind of bad, but at the same time, I kind of wish that, you know, growing up, my parents maybe had a little more emotional availability. But, you know, it is what it is, and it kind of made me get to a point where I am right now. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, I'm not, you know, saying anything negative about it. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they just came from a different era, man. And you know, it's funny you brought that up with our parents, because I do remember a very specific point when I was in high school, probably my senior year, and, you know, my whole life, you know, my parents are just, you know, they kind of use you. They're like, hey, go grab me that, go get this, you know, put this over here, do that, and this is like all orders, right?
Yeah.
So I got fed up one day, and my mom, just happened to lash out at my mom, and she was like, yeah, like, go get that and put it over here and do this. And I was like, Mom, I'm, you know, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you because no one else is around. But, like, could it kill you to just say, like, you know, oh, thanks for getting that?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then so I didn't say those nice words,
of course,
unfortunately. And then after that, she was just like, she was shocked. She gave me the look like, oh, okay. Like, she was like, you know. And then after that, she would, you know, slip it in here and there. She was like, oh, thank you, you know. Yeah. And that's something big at our house too, you know. If like I'm always nagging or bossing around the girls, but after they do something, if they do it, you know, I'm like, oh, good job, thank you, you know. I tell them that too, and so, you know, it's just, we're trying to capitalize on all of it, and that's where our era is, you know, like to capitalize on what we wish our parents had done for us. Yeah. And what hopefully this would promote them being, you know, more communicative and open with us, and for the future too. Most importantly, because we're girl dads, you know, I'm worried about them going to high school and college and all that stuff. Stuff we know about, you know, like
it's a scary thing. It's definitely a scary thing, man. I'm not saying, like, you know, I want to be like, you know, buddy with the girls or anything, but I definitely want to try to keep that communication line open, right? At least when and wherever I can actually add value and help out, you know. But obviously, there's things that are definitely out of my ballpark that I really do not have any expertise in, right? Like, I mean, obviously, so. Just to add one last thing, and this is just something that I cannot fathom. Like, when I read this guy really talking about his experience with his daughter, I was just kind of speechless, right? And so again, to add real quickly, is like this guy, the same guy with the girl with the daughter with the shaved legs, his daughter reached that age where she got her first menstruation, and I was like, God, what the hell am I gonna do at 10?
Oh man,
like, so, like, dude. Bro, like, I did not know what to think, what to feel, But the reason why I bring this up is because at that point in time, 10 years old, that's 3 years for us. And you know that goes by quick. But also on top of that, if and when this COVID thing ends and they all go back to school in person, blah, you know, all that stuff, if they have peers that have gotten theirs and your daughter has not, the same kind of question will come up. What's wrong with me? Right? And same thing with my daughter.
Yeah.
Like emotionally, how, like, I don't know what my game plan is for that. I mean, I spoke to Lemme about it, and she's like, I don't even know. That's 3 years away. But I'm like, dude, 3 years can come by quick.
Oh yeah, it's gonna fly by, man.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, we've known each other prior to kids, and 7 years later now, they're like, you know, they're 7 years old. But I mean, to that situation, I'm just anticipating how I would handle it, which would be the same way I handled with, like, you know, like you mentioned, like, you know, other kids are, it's happening to them. It's not happening to me. What's wrong with me? That happened to Zoe with her teeth falling out. Other kids in her school, where their teeth were just falling out, and then and they're all talking about it with each other. Oh,
exactly.
Yesterday,
inclusion.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I have all my teeth." Dude, I'm like, "That's a great thing.
That's
great. Like a freaking jack-o'-lantern."
Exactly.
You know, like. And so, she comes up. She's like, "What's wrong? Why does my teeth fall out?" And so, during SIP, she's lost 3 teeth, and she's ecstatic. She's like, "Yeah!" Like it's part of them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking once, you know, and I explained to her, like, when she asked me what's wrong with me, I said, "No, look, everyone's teeth grow at a different rate. Some mature, you know, earlier than others." You see where I'm going with this?
No,
right?
I can totally see where you're going with that.
With the whole menstruation thing, I'm gonna be like, well, some girls, just their uterus matures, you know, faster than others. Yeah,
you're a crazy topic, dude.
you're bleeding out, and it's freaky as hell. Trust me, it's never happened to me.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just what happens to a woman's body. And then take it away, Mom. Like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You kind of give like the opening paragraph or whatever, and then take it away. Like, that's how I see myself going, because same thing like with Aria and her teeth. She's like, "Oh man, I haven't lost any teeth yet, but so and so person has lost, you know, 2 or 3 already." And I'm like, you're everyone's going to be different. You know, you're not going to lose teeth at the same time. You're not going to grow taller at the same time. You guys have different rates of growth, and you're going to go through it. Like, don't worry about it. You know, you don't want to have to worry about that too much. But you know, they get so excited when they're included with the, I guess, quote unquote, in crowd, like, of everyone else that's going through it. You know, and I think that's human nature. But I'm telling you, bro, the menstruation stuff, man, I'm not looking forward to it, because we gotta go through it twice, and I'm scared shitless, to be quite honest with you.
I'm good. I got nervous just talking about it just right now. Like, 10 years old.
10 years old, man. You know why? There's a lot of things going around. I don't know if it's in the food, in the air, water, whatever the case may be, but good God, it's happening sooner and sooner, man. I don't know. It's a trip just thinking about it.
I don't know. Like, do we put like one of those like wet pads in their beds now? You know, when that happens.
Oh, like for like dogs?
Yeah. Do we do that? Like, just so it doesn't get on the sheets?
I don't know, man. Like, that's, you know, in all honesty, I think this could be a very good topic for bringing our wives onto this.
Oh, dude, we should.
That'd be so great.
I want to hear what they say, because we're freaked. Like, I mean, like, you know,
I bet you they haven't thought about it yet. Or maybe they have a little bit, but
I don't know. Like, I'm imagining if I'm the one speaking to them, the girls, they're gonna give me a blank stare. Like, what the fuck you talking about, Dad?
Yeah.
You know,
you're not like me.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like,
whatever it is. I want mommy.
They'll simply ask, you know, like, "Oh, you've had blood come out of you?" No, I haven't. Oh, your stomach hurts sometimes, like, you know, and then the bleeding hurts? No. But.
So what the hell are you talking about?
I live with 3 girls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening, and well, man, I guess that'll be on the show.
Sooner or later, it will happen.
we'll talk about it with our wives now, and then when it happens, hopefully way past 10, we'll talk about it again, and then even bring on the kids and like, how do you feel?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh God.
I'm already sweating.
My back just got all sweaty all of a sudden because.
Ugh.
Anyways, I think that's a good good cue to say thank you.
Should we just flow out of here?
Oh God.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
Okay.
have a good weekend, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.